Imagine a world where humans possess wings. This fascinating idea has been around for centuries. One of the first recorded attempts to fly like a bird was made by Leonardo da Vinci. He designed a set of wings based on the anatomy of birds, but it was never successfully tested. Since then, people have made different kinds of machines to mimic the flying of birds. However, humans growing wings like birds is still purely fiction. But what if humans had wings? If that's the case, how long would their wingspan be? In what ways would the current human anatomy change? And how could it affect social life? Let's talk about it in this video. If humans could grow wings, how long would their wingspan be? To answer this question, we need to learn the concept called wing loading. Wing loading is the amount of weight that is supported by each unit area of the wing. To calculate the wing loading, you have to divide the mass of the bird by the total area of its wing. Generally, birds have low wing loading because their wings are relatively large compared to their weight. Conversely, airplanes have high wing loading because their wings are smaller relative to their weight. For humans to fly comfortably, they would probably need a low wing loading, ideally around 3 to 4 kilograms per square meter. So, a person weighing 70 kilograms would need wings spanning about 6 to 8 meters to achieve this. However, it's not just wing loading that matters. Factors like wing shape, bone structure, and muscle strength could also influence the wingspan. For this, let's take the Argentavis magnificens, one of the largest flying birds ever. It weighed about 70 kilograms and had a wingspan of 7 to 8 meters, similar to what a human might need. However, having wings alone could not make us fly. If humans had wings, our skeletal system would need major changes to handle the weight and stress of flying. The bones in the arms and hands would elongate and become thinner, while shoulder blades would grow larger and more flexible to support the wings. The rib cage would also need to expand to allow for larger lungs to meet the oxygen demand during flight. With the addition of wings, people would need stronger muscles in their arms, shoulders, and chest to power the flapping motion necessary for flight. Especially, the pectoral muscles would have to be significantly bigger and stronger to handle the wing weight and support the body during flight. And like all birds, we would need feathers to create the necessary lift and aerodynamics required for flight. These feathers would be attached to our arms and hands, with smaller ones covering the body to minimize drag. Furthermore, humans would develop a specialized gland called the uropygial gland to keep the feathers waterproof and well-maintained. However, it's not just anatomical changes people will go through in this scenario. We will also undergo some physiological adaptations. If humans had wings, their metabolic rate, the rate at which the body burns energy, would increase significantly due to the additional energy required for flight. The wings would require a substantial amount of muscle mass to move and control, leading to an increase in basal metabolic rate. The body would need to adapt to this increased energy demand by developing more efficient metabolic pathways. With a higher metabolic rate, humans with wings would develop more efficient respiratory systems. They would also need larger lung capacity and improved gas exchange to supply enough oxygen to the muscles during flight. The respiratory system should manage the increased demands of flight without causing fatigue or breathlessness. Next, the circulatory system would also need to adapt to the increased demands of flight. The heart would need to pump more blood at a faster rate to supply oxygen and nutrients to the muscles during flight. The blood vessels would require greater flexibility to handle the shifts in pressure and flow that happen during flight. Additionally, the body would need to establish a valve system to prevent blood from flowing backwards into the heart while flying. These physiological changes represent just a few of the adaptations humans with wings would undergo. And with all these changes, the world of wings would indeed be a different place. The entire society would look vastly different from what we used to see. First off, the architecture of buildings and infrastructure would be drastically different. Buildings will have larger entrances and exits for people with wings to enter and leave. While staircases and elevators would still be present, architectural designs might adjust to accommodate wings. Moreover, the buildings will have larger spaces, and outdoor areas will have designated spaces for takeoff and landing. With humans having wings, the world of fashion and apparel would undergo some changes. Clothing would require slits and holes to allow wing movements, and the materials would be lightweight and breathable to support flight. Fashion trends would also likely be influenced by the aesthetics of wings, with patterns and designs inspired by feathers and the concept of flight. The ability to fly would unleash a whole new realm of sports and recreational activities. Humans could engage in aerial sports such as gliding, skydiving, and aerial acrobatics. Traditional sports like football and basketball could be modified to accommodate winged players. Additionally, the presence of wings would inspire the creation of entirely new sports and games tailored for winged humans, such as flying racing. And that's it. If humans had wings, the world would indeed be a vastly different place. While there would be issues like air traffic, it would be an incredibly exciting adventure. Stay tuned for another video.